Notification. Yep. I took the green thing off for the moment.
Okay.
Because it was covering the fire.
Oh, okay.
See how it's just the text now?
Mm-hmm.
It isn't quite centered.
True, fire and sweater weather.
Yeah, I need to get a sweater though.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. We'll be getting started soon. What's that? Oh, they can't actually see that
Well, we'll get there.
because they're closer than normal.
Are we?
Yeah.
I guess we are.
That's one reason why we haven't put the mic where it was.
I can still move that back to 2.
True. Normally it's like another 8 inches, but that's okay. We don't need to have it. I'm just letting you know where we normally have it. Normally it's enough for both chairs to complete.
I've never set up the camera before here.
But I think we can still back this up a little bit too. Take a look at the screen. Yeah, see if you can figure that out.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Oh, you were slightly zoomed in too.
Aha.
No. You're in my face. Get out. Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing?
Yeesh.
What's that?
The ash cam looks awful. I need to fix that.
Because of the coloring or?
No. No, it was the wrong,
Aspect ratio.
yes.
I'm sorry, I'm just guessing.
It was also the wrong, it was pixelated.
Oh, okay. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, we need to get a little more light on our faces. There we go. That'll lighten up our faces a little bit.
Okay. Oh, yeah, the ash cam is framed correctly now.
You have some eggs over here, so you are.
Yep, I'm working on it.
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Couple
Good
more
morning,
things to do.
everyone. We got an angry face. Why we got an angry face? Deneen, I'm sorry.
What happened to Deneen?
I think Deneen accidentally pushed an angry face.
Oh no. She's angry at our Mozart music.
Probably. Oh my. Well, hope everyone is doing well today. We're getting started just soon. I figured not, Deneen, don't worry.
What's that?
She said, not angry, she just pressed the wrong button. I figured not, I was amused.
This is not exactly the music we want. I mean, it's nice, but
It's pensive. I like it.
you like the pensiveness.
I do. I have a melancholic soul.
It's true. There's our theme music. All right. Well, shall we get started?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I want this, and I don't want that. And there we go. Good morning, everybody.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to Fireside Chat for Wednesday, April 7th. Wednesday? It's Friday. It's Friday.
I was going to say. At some point, wherever it is.
That's right. The days kind of run together for us. How about you? So happy Friday, everybody. And a special happy Friday.
Exactly.
Why is that, Father Ashmore?
I haven't got a clue.
Look at that face for the doo-doo-doo.
What?
Why is it a special Friday, Father Ashmore?
No, I mean, this morning I got up, got around, I prayed. That always makes it a special day, doesn't it?
Yes, you
I
are not falling into my trap.
No, I'm not. So then I studied a little bit, we had mass, and then you know what I did after that, Father?
What did you do after that?
I made some bacon.
Did you now?
I made some bacon, yes.
They can't see it though because the microphone is.
Nope.
So look at this pile of bacon.
Mm-hmm. You know why I made this bacon today?
What? Tell us, why did you make this
Because
bacon?
it is a meat Friday.
It is a meat Friday.
This is true. There are only a few meat Fridays throughout the whole year, and we have landed on one of them.
All right,
Mhm.
very good. So yeah, just to remind everybody that we are required to fast from something or do some sort of penance every Friday of the year during Lent. It must be meat that we give up, but the rest of the Fridays we can do something else. It doesn't have to be meat, but many people still traditionally do that. I do that as possible. Sometimes it's not possible. I have a wedding rehearsal or whatever.
Right.
But when possible, and sometimes my fasting is, my penance is, I just do. I do meat like I don't do meat when I have the option.
Yeah.
That's kind of sometimes my penance is. Because usually I have control over what I eat for lunch, for instance, and I
Right.
want to eat meat, and then I'll have a meat dinner or whatever. So, but something to recognize the salvation that Christ has given us through the cross. So, okay, so welcome everybody, and then we are drinking. What are we drinking today, Father Ashmore?
We're drinking coffee.
We are. You are having a good time today, aren't you? We are. Okay, I'll go to
We
the
are
oak.
drinking.
I'll go to the
blend
oak camera.
of the Roastery House Favorites 40 Sardines. One of my favorite blends of coffee. It's quite tasty, but there wasn't enough for a full pot, and so I had to supplement it with Caribou right here.
So I'll take it over to the
Oh,
oak
okay.
camera because it's easier to make sure you can see. So we got the Caribou blended with sardines.
So that 40 Sardines is probably my favorite blend that you can buy in the coffee shops right now, or I mean the grocery stores right now. It's tasty. It's
But this one is empty.
gone.
So gone.
I hope you're gonna pick that up later.
We are. That was just for dramatic effect there. And hello, Rachel. Hello, Rosalie. Hello, Laura. Hello, nieces. Hi, Kathleen. And I hope that you're having a great day. I've got my sweater on, and I got a fire going, so it's very good. And I've got my bunny cup right there. Happy Easter. And our bunnies were hiding, but they are back out again. So there they are from Peter Cottontail. So, alrighty.
So I have a question, Father.
Yes, please.
How much bacon is too much bacon?
I'm sorry, could you rephrase the question? I don't understand the question.
How much bacon? How much bacon is too much bacon for one sitting?
That's probably too much for one
That's
sitting.
probably too much for one sitting. Yeah. I'm just curious. I'm sitting here and I'm like, it's tempting me, but I think I've already had like 3 or 4 pieces. So I should
This is my
probably
first
stop.
bacon piece, and
Oh my.
yes, I've been waiting for the show, but
Long has he waited for his coming home to him and living this new life.
very good. And yes, we have a real fire going here, so you might need to be stoked a little bit. But I thought that I'd cleaned out the fire for the winter, but it got cold again, so here we are. So Now I've got bacon in my mouth.
Right. So, question for all of you: What is your favorite baking bacon technique, or cooking bacon technique? So I did this on the stove today, and it was good. It's a good technique. It's a little crispy. You're able to get different textures in the bacon. So if you like chewy bacon, it makes it chewy, but it also can crisp it up, so you get lots of best of both worlds. But you guys have a favorite? I'm just curious. Some people like baking it. Some people like air frying it. I've heard is really good. I don't know about that though.
Well, I only know one method of baking, and that is frying it up. That's the only thing I know.
Oh, there's all.
So I guess it's
types,
nuking
yeah.
it. But...
You can nuke it. Nuking is actually a really good option too. My mom always nuked it.
Good.
Do anybody have any opinions here? I'm just curious. So I found one technique that I really want to try. And so you put it on a tray.
Tell us about that.
And you put parchment paper down, and you put the bacon directly on top of the parchment paper, and it's supposed to absorb just enough of the grease that it's not like swimming in the grease, but leave enough of it that it can cook well. And apparently it cooks like in 20 minutes in the oven.
Okay.
But the problem is I don't have any parchment paper. So microwave bacon and paper towels, Linda. That's bacon in the oven, Lisa. We'll have to try this in the next few days.
I never knew about the oven method. I thought there was only the skillet method. That's the only method I've ever known. So
there's a great variety to bacon technique.
I guess so. Very good. So we are trying to be your community in the distance. What else have you been working on besides frying up bacon? What have you been reading? What have you been doing? What have you been talking about? The new order is here, and stay at home. I couldn't figure out though So Kansas said till May 3rd, right? But then our city is till May 15th. Is that right?
Oh, is that true? I hadn't heard that.
I don't know. So it looks like we're going to be...
Like I said, I'm never getting out of here.
So it looks like the stay-at-home order is going on for a while yet. And so what I've been trying to reflect upon is... so it's a new season. It's the Easter season. But I'm also trying to think in terms of taking... kind of our online ministry or our Good Shepherd ministry, kind of phase 2 here. Kind of like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think, is that's...
Okay.
But trying to think of, okay, so we've done this, and now what more can we do? I was talking on the Inflame Convocation thing, there was a little bit of conversation going on, and sometimes we kind of back off on our spiritual things post-Lent, which I have never really supported all that much because it always sounds strange, right? Let's get all spiritual for Lent, and then finally Jesus is risen, and okay, we're done with Jesus now. So I try not to promote that kind of thinking, even though it is kind of natural. We go real strong for Lent, and then we relax, and then we never get back on to those spiritual practices. So I want to avoid that. So what are we going to do now? That's what I'm kind of contemplating and reflecting upon. So a couple ideas, and I'm throwing some ideas. Let us know what more we can do to minister to folks, because I think we need to step it up a notch rather than step it back. I think there are some that are thinking, let's just step back a little bit now.
Right.
I think we need to step up. Because
so are you suggesting that we should fast for 50 days now?
I am not suggesting that.
Okay. Tell me more then.
So,
on a side note, I just had something that revolutionized my bacon existence. Swellen Grady Pavlik tells us, and if I pronounce your name wrong, pardon me, tells us that she bakes it with brown sugar sprinkled on top, as in New Orleans.
Oh.
Brown sugar sprinkled on top. That would make it kind of caramely, I presume, in the oven. The greases, the sugar and the fat, the grease would mix together, and we'd almost get a little bit of... That could be delicious. Thank you very much. I will try that.
Okay, as of this morning, the Kansas side of the Metro has not adopted the May 15th. Okay, so it is still May 3rd. So we're not we're not locked in as much as we thought. We might. So we want to be prepared. But anyway, so we're trying to kind of step up the game, and some of the things that I have been hearing a little bit of is people have been enjoying these fireside chats and the masses and the rosaries and all those, but one of the things that possibly people are still missing is the contact with other parishioners. And one of the beautiful things, if you were there for the Holy Thursday dinner, I thought that was just lovely, and it was just amazingly touching just to see everybody at their dinner tables, and that's something that we've been missing out. So we're going to try, at least I'm going to try to facilitate some more opportunities for Good Shepherd folks to interact and to see one another. So I've got a couple things that we have in the hopper. And again, I'm open to suggestions and ideas, so please let us know. But yesterday, I guess it was yesterday I even just came up with the idea, and I posted on Facebook about doing a Bible study. I often hear people say, hey, can we have a Bible study? We don't have any Bible studies. I hear that with some frequency. And so I thought I'd take this opportunity when I have a little bit more time here that I can spend wisely and do some more research myself and kind of dive in and develop some kind of classes myself. Is that so I'm going to do a Bible study on Saturday mornings, and I think I've decided on 9 a.m. I kind of floated that idea. I offered 8, 9, 10, and 11, and most people said 9. Some people said 10. Some people said 8, but 9 seemed to be the best hour. So
you didn't really offer an early option. Have you considered like doing a 4 a.m. option?
Well, someone did ask. Crystal did ask.
Really?
Said, how about 5 a.m. Before the children are up, and that would be best for us. But
that's very early.
It is very early.
You could do like matins, monk style.
That's true. But so I did offer 8, which was that's as early as I went. And I considered 7, but it is still a Saturday morning, and so
exactly.
but
it's a Saturday, it should be extra penitential. That's what we're saying the Easter season. So
right.
He's going to offer 2:30. I'm sorry, I'm just causing chaos this morning.
But I know that some places have done like a Bible study early in the morning. There's been some men's groups that get like 6 or 7 in the morning because that's the best time for them before the kids are awake. They can go do that
or go to work.
Right. So. So that I did consider that, but 8 is as early as I was going for a Saturday morning. But so anyway, 9 o'clock is what I think what we're going to do, and I'm going to do a series of the Bible book by book, and we'll just see how that goes. And the idea is I'm going to do it on a Zoom conference call that will be broadcast to Facebook and YouTube, somewhat similar to what we're doing with Tuesday Night Live now, right? Where Michael and I are both on there, but you can see it on Facebook and YouTube. But the idea is it'd be an open invitation. Anyone can join in on the Zoom, so you can have the chance to see anybody, but recognize that you will also be on Facebook and YouTube. So if you don't want that, then you just watch via Facebook and YouTube. And what my hope is, and again, I've never done this before, I'm learning all kinds of things. I think I'm going to do a practice with this afternoon to see how this works. But here's what's going on in my brain. I invite as many people as want to be there on the Zoom conference. Then people can ask questions verbally if they want. Everyone will be on mute to begin with, so it's not chaos. So I'll give a little bit of a little lecture, 20 to 30 minute lecture kind of thing. People can type in their questions via the Zoom chat, via the Facebook chat, via the YouTube chat, and I'll monitor all those things. And then I will allow time for questions where there could be like a vocal question where people could, literally raise their hand and say, I've got a question, could I ask that question? And then that'll get that interaction among the people. Okay. So that's the idea. That's what I'd like to do. And so I'm going to start this Bible study tomorrow, 9 a.m., and I'm going to start with Romans. The reason I'm picking Romans is for a couple reasons. One, it's one of the most important books of the Bible. 2, I've already done that talk, so I can dig out some of my old notes and my old research, and I'll be ready to go by tomorrow. And then we'll kind of go from there. So, and it's one of those things. It's low commitment because you can check in or check out, or if you like 10 minutes of it, and then he's like, I can't do anything more right now, but I'll come back and watch it later. It'll be available for you. True. So there's all kinds of possibilities. Or if you just don't like it, you can just leave the meeting and not come back. So, but I would ask that you, if you're interested in this kind of Bible study, give me a little bit of time because I've never done anything like this before, really, with a Zoom and.
Right.
And what I'm trying to do is, because there's all kinds of opportunities, we have that formed.org, which I've recommended before, and there's the Word on Fire, which I've recommended before. They've got all kinds of already great Bible studies but there's something about doing it locally. And so that's what I'm trying to promote, is that local sense of our local group. Everyone's welcome. You can come in from wherever you want in the world. But it kind of that local idea with interaction, that's what will make us unique. And so that's what I'm going to strive for. But it might take a couple weeks till we figure out a good rhythm to that. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to start up the Bible study, Saturday morning Bible study, 9 a.m. for at least during our quarantine period. That will be the plan. So I've got 4. So I think I'm going to do Romans, and then Acts, and then Galatians, and then 1 Corinthians as the starter. Those are good Easter things. I've gotten some requests to do Isaiah or some other Old Testament books, or to start from the beginning and do Genesis. I'm open to that as well. But I think the plan is to do Romans, Acts, Galatians, and 1 Corinthians. I'd like to start with Acts, but I'm not prepared to talk about Acts because I don't think I've ever taught Acts. So that's a great Easter book because it talks about the early church. So that's my plan to start that up tomorrow. Let me know what you think about that. And then also I've been in conversations with Mary Mueller. She's awesome. Wears a whole bunch of different hats, and she is also talking about ways to interact and get something going. So we're still in the conversations, but she might do a kind of a Monday evening kind of gather the people chat kind of thing over Zoom, I think. Okay. But we're still in conversations. She hasn't totally committed, and she still needs to figure that out, but I think she's really interested. Again, so kind of phase 2 is what I'd like to do, is to draw in some more interaction among people. I think that's what we want to promote. Because we both just kind of jumped into this right away. It's like, okay, so what can we do? And we just turned on a camera and started talking and chatting. But I think that we can do better now, and we can go into phase 2. And since we might be in here longer, what are some more things that we can offer? So open also to suggestions what you might want to do. So let me know what you think about all those things. But I'm planning on starting a Bible study tomorrow, and whoever shows up. So
gather your people on chat.
Gather your people on chat.
One bread dispersed throughout the city. Gather your people on chat.
You can't just stop there.
It was called a dramatic pause.
I see. It's like a...
Oh shoot! What is his name?
Gene
Wilder.
Gene Wilder.
Exactly.
We were watching a little YouTube thing on the master of the dramatic pause.
Exactly.
So, very good. Is there any prep or reading we need to do before the Bible chats? Great question. So here's my thought: is so bring your Bible for one. I'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow too. I will mostly be using the New American. That's kind of a good standard. But whatever you got in your house, bring your Bible, and we'll kind of go through those things. It'll be an overview. I'm not going to go into a deep dive into Romans. I'm just going to talk, kind of give some sense. And then the idea, I think, would be is that then you could read Romans, having some background to the book, and then I'd challenge you to read that during the next week. And then maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow too. I could do like an 8:30 kind of pre-Bible study discussion of our previous book, and then go into the next one. So at 9. So you don't really need to prepare anything, but if you want to get yourself familiarized with Romans for tomorrow, that's what that could be what I'd recommend. So yes, I love MM.
Mary Mueller.
Oh yes, yes. Who does not love Mary Mueller? I've never met a soul who does not love Mary Mueller.
She's a wonderful woman.
Yep, she is awesome.
I also love M&Ms.
You've got all kinds of fun things going on today. So, what do you have to say for yourself there? I've been talking for a while, but...
I don't know at this point. Well...
I mean, so what have you been reading? What have you been talking about? Or do you have any other input to add there?
I haven't really... I don't know. I'm feeling more... how would you say? Mischievous today than anything.
I've noticed that. It's all in the bacon, I think, is what it is.
I haven't had a good slab of bacon in a while, so...
Pile o' bacon.
Pile of bacon. I'm trying to stop now, even though it's staring at me in my face.
Well, the idea, we're not planning on eating this whole pile this morning. And he just kept...
On the camera.
He just kept cooking and cooking and cooking.
Well, I figured...
There's a lot of bacon there, Father.
Well, we can use it for sandwiches later.
Right.
Yeah. So, there was one question earlier, which was, is there a difference between adoration, holy hour, and exposition of the Blessed Sacrament? Not really. Some people use those terms interchangeably. Some people mean particular things with them. Adoration is just the act of adoring our Lord. Very simple. Exposition is when you actually bring it out in the monstrance, and you adore our Lord who is exposed in the monstrance. And then holy hour is 1 hour in the presence of the Lord, generally through the Eucharist. But a lot of people use them interchangeably, so I wouldn't get too wrapped up in distinctions between them. Generally, if it's a holy hour, it needs to be an hour. Sometimes people, we joked because in the seminary sometimes the holy hour would be cut short for some reason. We would still call it a holy hour, so we'd be like, hey, you want to come for the holy 50 minutes?
Right.
But there's not really a big distinction between them all.
Can we talk about cassocks and why we are wearing those more? I know that Father Joseph Totten on the Missouri side, he posted something.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read it though.
Yeah, it was by Monsignor Pope. Monsignor Pope generally has pretty good takes on them. I think I've read that a long time ago. It wasn't a recent article, if I recall.
Take us down a little bit.
But I greatly suggest that that article. If anybody has read it, we can.
We talked a little bit about cassocks a few episodes ago. I don't own a cassock. They are kind of making a comeback, and it's the formal wear and the liturgical wear of seminarians and priests, and it's kind of throughout the world. It's in the United States we kind of tossed it off for a while there, but I think most of the newly ordained priests are, embracing it, and it really connects us really with the wider world as well. So, so back when I was in seminary, for like ordinations and other events, we wore albs, which back in the day I always liked because it was, the alb is a symbol of our baptism, and so it made sense to me. It didn't seem to make much sense to have the cassock, but that's just changed over time, and nowadays, at these formal events, all the seminarians are in cassocks and surplices, and it's basically mandatory. You can't show up really unless you've got your cassock and surplice on. So,
and that's something to remember. A lot of people think that the surplice is a different garment than the alb, and it's really not.
Oh, okay.
The surplice is just the alb designed to be worn on as outerwear.
Okay. Yeah.
So the alb is underwear, the surplice is outerwear. So you should really never see somebody, unless they're a monk, wearing the alb without anything on top of it, because it's considered underwear.
I see.
Liturgically. So,
even though our service wear.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of custom anymore, but you see they still have a cincture over it, so there's something over it.
Oh, I see. So yeah, so I don't own a cassock. I don't feel the need to have a cassock at this point. I might change my mind on that, but yeah, it's just.
So I like mine for very practical reasons and for spiritual reasons. Very practical reasons, they are the priest's overalls. What's that?
The priest overalls. It was good.
Exactly. So whenever I'm wearing my cassock, I have the right clothes on, so I don't have to go and get a sport coat on. I'm ready to have a meeting with the bishop. I'm ready to meet somebody in the parish. I'm ready to go and do something liturgically. I don't need to change my clothes constantly throughout the whole day, which sometimes you end up having to do. You have a meeting with somebody, you got to get dressed up a little bit. In the cassock, the most I have to do is put on the fascia, which generally is in my bag.
What's the fascia?
The fascia is the belt.
Okay.
So that if I need to get a little fancier, then you put on the belt and you're all set. So in that way, it's really easy. It's also got extra pockets, so I can carry a little more with me.
We've talked about your pix pocket before.
I got a pix pocket. It's also, it makes me more available to the people I've found. So people are a lot more willing to stop me on the street when I'm wearing my cassock than when I'm wearing other things. So it really makes me more available. It's a strange thing. People, when they see the cassock, they're immediately attracted to it. And when you're walking along the street and there's somebody who's in need of prayer, I get stopped probably 2 times, 3 times more when I'm wearing my cassock. People just see it and they think, I'm going to go talk to Father. Okay. And I'm not even just talking about Catholics. I'm talking about people who have no relationship to the church. I have been stopped so many times, like walking down the street of Lawrence, and it's really people, there's always that question when you see a priest without a cassock on. He may have his clerics on and whatnot, but you never maybe get covered up, or
Sure.
you think you might be in a hurry or something. People, when they see you in a cassock, for some reason they just know you're available. So.
No, that's good. That's a good perspective, and that might inspire me to go get a cassock so that I can be more available to people. So yeah, it's good.
It's one of those things. There's a lot of people think, okay, priest and cassock are good priests, or priest and cassock are bad priests. They've got kind of these preconceived notions, but
Sure.
it's partly cultural, partly historical. I also like it because it connects me with all the priests who have gone before. So, because this has been the priest garb for like 1,200 years.
Yeah.
So there's that connection that when I'm wearing it, I'm entering into something greater, and I'm kind of losing my own personality and taking on the personality of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So those are some thoughts.
Good. Good perspective. Very good. Thanks, Jen, for that question. I mean, I get stopped sometimes,
Oh, certainly.
Because it's still, it's like, what's going on there? But yeah, I've never walked around in a cassock because again, I have one.
Right.
I've worn them before because at seminary there were some kind of official events, but again, they're also kind of expensive. I think.
Yeah, it depends.
So.
I mean, they can go the whole. The thing is, it's like a suit, in that you buy
Sure.
it and you don't need to buy another one for a long time.
Right.
You only need to get it cleaned a couple times a year and that sort of thing. So, if you think of it as a suit, they're really not that expensive.
Right. So.
But a suit that you can wear always. So.
True.
You don't have to change out of.
Very good. Okay, so very good. What other questions might you have for us? Those were some good questions there. Do you have anything else that you were reading or sharing?
I didn't have too much that I to share today. Right off the top of my head, I always got some poetry that I can always read.
We have to do something on the ash can anyway.
Do we have to do something? Well, it depends. If we have any other questions too, I want to point out to people that I've had a great decrease in the number of questions coming my way. So continue to send those questions. Sirius Epitino brought up a question for me, and it was about the Divine Mercy, more about the history of the Divine Mercy, what's Saint Faustina, her book, and I actually don't know too much about her myself. I don't know if you know more.
A little bit, but I'm a little bit behind the curve on that one too.
It just never has been a huge part of my spiritual life, and has never been something that I'm too involved with. I know that Saint Faustina was a nun in Poland in the 30s and 40s, I think 30s and 40s, maybe a little earlier, right around there. And she received visions of our Lord. She wrote down those visions, and the emphasis was on our Lord's mercy, that especially during that time, the Second World War, rise of Nazism, rise of communism, and all of that. It was he wanted to emphasize his mercy during that time of really a great trial in the church. And so she wrote her diary, and she also received a vision of our Lord that was essentially like this. She said she could never get the image exactly right, but this is as close as she was able to get this particular image.
And we had a great talk. So this one here, there are two basically images of the Divine Mercy. There's this one and there's the other one. Which you can, if you just Google Divine Mercy, you will find it. But we had a great talk by Michael Gately. He did our, we have our priest retreat and our priest workshop each year. So the retreat is in early June, and then the workshop is in late September. But it got a little dusty here. He gave a great talk about the Divine Mercy. It was all about Divine Mercy, and particularly this image. This is the original one, and then there was a later one done. Which
is the best.
Well, that's what he says too. Now, some people like the other one better because it seems like it's a little bit more welcoming or everything. But he shared a couple of thoughts about this, which I'd like just to share then, since we're talking about Divine Mercy, and these are ones that stuck with me. a couple of things to mention about this image. That if you notice, his foot is just coming slightly forward. Not way forward, but just he is approaching us. And then the other image is that he said that to encounter the mercy of God, many people, when they really need the mercy of God, are really beat down by their sins, by their life. And to have that mercy really impact their life, that's what he said this image does much better. Because he says that that God comes to us as like if we were like beaten dogs or animals or whatever, which is a very interesting image. So like if you've had like a dog that has been abused or whatever, maybe you pick up a dog at the shelter or whatever, the worst thing that you can do is make eye contact and go, "Hey there, dog," because it's going to attack. And so we said about this image, that's why this hand, it's not up here like the other image is, and he's not making eye contact. He is keeping his eyes low and his hand low, as if he's approaching a beaten animal. And that's how we are in our sins sometimes, that we are so beaten down that if God comes up and say, "Hey there, happy, happy Jesus, I'm here to save you, God." That was like, no, I can't take it. But if he comes to us slowly, with just a small step forward, eyes down, "I'm coming at you, I'm bringing my mercy," that's what really struck me about this image. So if you compare this with the other one, he's looking right at you, which can be very nice, but it also can seem like attacking. It's intimidating. And the hand is up, that can also seem intimidating. That's why this one is much more reserved, and that one, because I did like the other one better for those very reasons. I liked how approachable he's like looking right at me. I love that. But if you're not in a place where you're ready to receive the mercy of God, this is a much better image. So anyway, this was the original image. It's, again, it can seem at first to be not as approachable, but that's part of the idea. He comes at us, eyes down, hand low, but coming towards us to bring us his mercy.
So actually, I want to talk about this for a quick moment. So
okay.
I think that artistically, this one is a much, much better image also. So here's why.
Okay.
This one, the colors are a little more subdued. You have Christ coming out on a dark background, so you have a little bit of a tradition coming from like Baroque art, especially Caravaggio. If you're familiar with Caravaggio, who has really dark backgrounds and light characters, the Christ is not overdone. So the other one, and I'm going to offend some people here, so get ready. The other one is Italian kitsch. And the Italian kitsch is poorly done art. So the best definition of kitsch is the kind of art that you'd find in your Italian grandmother's kitchen.
Kitsch.
Kitsch. Because generally in kitsch, you have like rosy cheeks, you have over-sentimental faces. What kitsch tries to do is it doesn't try to make you think about the image. It tries to make you have an emotional reaction initially that doesn't lead you any deeper. And so we have our culture really has trouble with kitsch. It's because for a lot of traditional religious art, what we think of like traditional religious arts, like holy cards or images that were really kind of popular in the 1930s and 40s, are terrible kitsch because they're overly sentimental and they never actually lead you to think about it. So the fact that this one might be a little off-putting at first means it's actually better art because it makes you consider the image and not just make you have an emotional reaction. So I have a strict anti-kitsch rule. I don't allow kitsch in my life because it doesn't actually make you any more. It doesn't actually make you consider the truth of the painting. It doesn't actually bring you into the painting anymore. It gives you an emotional reaction that stops there. So it gives you the rosy cheeks, but it doesn't make you encounter the person behind it.
And I pretty much agree wholeheartedly there. I call it holy card art myself. Italian kitsch, another way to talk about it. But I hated, and I hate strong word. I do not usually like holy cards because they are bland, unexciting, and rosy cheeks and everything. And really pious.
Oh, it's like every image of Dominic Savio. Every image of Dominic Savio takes an image of a 12-year-old or 13-year-old boy, gives him rosy cheeks, and makes him look like a girl.
That's right.
It's like, what is this? No.
Well, which is why, so when I was ordained, I commissioned, maybe I've talked about this before, but I commissioned someone, and my mom can put the name there, I suppose, I forget the name. I had art specifically commissioned, and I wish the original is over in the office right now, but I had artwork commissioned for my holy card, which was pencil drawn, because it had a richness to it, because I really didn't like any of the holy card options. So I said, I want original art. So that's what I did for my holy card for my ordination, because it's customary to have a holy card for your ordination, and so I made original ones, which is again something that it's one of the reasons I love being at Good Shepherd is the commitment that Good Shepherd also has to original artwork. We don't have a whole lot of art at Good Shepherd, and that's can be a kind of a limitation. And I think it's still a relatively new church. I mean, you look at these churches that took forever to build, and I don't want just artwork just all over the place. But what I also love is our commitment that I think all, with the possible exception of the stained glass that's up above, I think all of it is original artwork that has a connection to our parishioners.
Yeah.
So the cross with the musicians, those are all original artwork by Daryl Southern. So that was all done original artwork. Our Stations of the Cross were done by the El Salvadorian, who just recently passed away. We have that connection with our El Salvadorian parish. Those are one of a kind. They are original. There are none other in the world that are like that. Our baptismal font was done by Matt DeHamers. So that's something I really love about Good Shepherd is our commitment to, we're not just going to throw kitsch in there because we want a devotion. Well, also Our Lady of Guadalupe, I guess that's, but it'd be nice to get like some sort of original painting as well of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Perhaps, yeah.
But that's the traditional image, and I'm okay with that one. But we are pretty committed to, let's just not throw in a statue just because we want a statue that we'll buy at Idonoly. You know, it's if we're going to put something in, it's going to be original and it's going to be beautiful. So that's one of the things I really like about Good Shepherd is that commitment to real, authentic artwork. So Kim Stagenborg, thank you, Mom.
And Mary Pat asks me, could I sometime share my favorite religious artwork? Sure, yeah, we could certainly do that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be an interesting fireside chat. I'll tell you my favorite artist right at the top of the bat when it comes to religious art is probably El Greco. I love El Greco.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people probably wouldn't expect that from me, but I love his artwork. I think he's got a beautiful style. It's really theologically rich, and the colors are just striking. His form is really
He's different than the Geico guy, right?
Yeah, certainly. You cannot save any money by buying El Greco. No.
That's a gecko, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It's a gecko. But El Greco is one of my favorites. Right at the top.
And I like Caravaggio a lot. He's one of my
Caravaggio.
favorites. I love the richness of the colors, and it is kind of darker and just I really like him. And there's
he's got. I mean, I really love art, but he's got a beautiful way with the human form.
Yeah.
He just captures the human form really, really well. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Well, there's also and I think it's at the Nelson Atkins. There is
John the Baptist.
Well, is that a Caravaggio?
Yeah, that's a Caravaggio.
But there's also I think a Denmark artist who seems kind of in the Caravaggio school.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Danish. That has kind of dark colors, but It's dark, but very vibrant, pronounced
the
colors.
Italians have a word for that. I don't remember the name for it.
But it seems very much in the Caravaggio school. There's one I think in Jesus being arrested with soldiers or something that really jumps out at me. I really like that one. So yeah, Caravaggio is probably one of my favorites. I have to do a little bit more research of what speaks to me.
I really like. Now this is not technically religious. He's not religious, but I think he's got a few religious pieces. Joaquin Sorolla is one of my favorite painters. I think he just gets colors and lighting really, really beautifully. He's a Spanish painter from the early 20th century, so he's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Oh, and who is that? Surrealist artist. I really like his crucifixion.
Salvador Dali.
Salvador Dali. I like all of his stuff. It's all kind of weird, and not all of his stuff, but I do like Dali.
Certainly interesting.
I like that cross perspective, you know. Well, we also have our local. So you're asking me these are questions that I'm not quite prepared. But that our local artist who has done so many pieces. He's in Kentucky now. He taught at St. James. He was like the artist in residence there.
Oh, and he did all those pieces with the painting.
I think his stuff is beautiful. It's rich. It's not kitsch. It's that's the thing. I like seeing saints or other scriptural paintings that have a richness to them that aren't over purified. And I think he does a really nice job of that.
So going back to Divine Mercy, we will be having devotions to Divine Mercy, which were essentially started by St. Faustina with her visions on Sunday. The Sunday after Easter is considered Divine Mercy Sunday. John Paul II started that. So before John Paul II, there was no such thing as Divine Mercy Sunday. He began that custom. And on this day, the Church does offer a special indulgence. Some people make some pretty bold claims with the indulgence on Divine Mercy. I'm not sure I buy some of those. But there is an indulgence for doing Divine Mercy, a plenary indulgence for doing Divine Mercy customs. And at this point, generally, you have to go to confession and receive Holy Communion on the day, to confession within 20 days, and receive Holy Communion on the day to receive a plenary indulgence. But I don't think that's necessary at this point because of the recent document from Pope Francis, who was opening up during this time because most people can't receive Holy Communion.
Right.
So you can still receive the plenary indulgence on Sunday without doing that.
And we had a big conversation about the plenary indulgence several weeks ago. Yeah. So I need to go.
We need to have like episode 123. Go back
we need to put show notes or something. But yeah, Jason Janicki, that's his name. I don't remember exactly how to spell it, but great stuff. And his artwork is in several places around the diocese. But there's a great visitation that was at St. Lawrence. I don't know if I think it's still there, but just the joy of the two mothers, their faces, it's really lovely.
So, but this Sunday we will be having, I guess, 2 holy hours or something. We'll be having 2 sets of devotions for Divine Mercy.
So we'll have Spanish at 1:30 and then English beginning at 2 o'clock. And I need to have a conversation with folks to figure out exactly how that's going to flow and roll, but a holy hour. And then we might just keep, because someone on the Spanish side was mentioning how important that 3 o'clock hour is. And so we were going to do 2 to 3, but maybe we'll do 2 to 4 or 2 to 3:30. Or I don't know. I'm fine praying Sundays. It's good. So I'll just hang around until people want to stop praying, I guess. Or until 7 o'clock, whatever comes first. I don't know. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. We do have a little bit of a conversation we need to get to for, we are both... we are COVID priests, or whatever that means.
We do not have COVID. It means that we are the priests assigned to assist COVID victims if that is necessary. I haven't had to do so yet.
I don't think I have either. But we have a little training that was at 10:30, but they say that we can get there late or watch it later. So, but I guess it's going to be a question and answer.
Right.
So we might we're going to go check that out and learn what we need to do, any special procedures or whatever we need to do when we're visiting the COVID folks. So I think that pretty much wraps up our show for today. Thanks for tuning in. Well, you know what? I've had this banner up for a long time. But that's okay. It does cover up our coffee and stuff. It provides that. And just so we can say we did it, say something.
Oh, at the ash cam?
Say something profound there at the ash cam.
Jesus Christ is the light of the world.
That was profound.
There we go.
Change the battery pack.
On what?
The camera? That was weird.
Oh, you didn't plug it in.
Oh.
Okay. Well, that's why.
Okay. Well, we're running out of time anyway.
Got to get out of here.
Okay. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you on Monday or at the Bible study tomorrow at 9. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. God bless you all.